At midnight on September 1st, 2025, Russia didn't sleep. It changed. A stack of new laws, rules, orders, regulations, fines, and technical amendments became country's new operating system. Russian state no longer needs to prove you are dangerous. You must constantly prove you are harmless. A few dozen new laws took effect today. I will pick the most significant and some absurd ones to show you what Russians can and can't do without a knock on the door. The border rules that ground you, the foreign linked label that appears overnight, the bank flags that freeze your money before you know it, the fines that arrive before any notice. I'll show you what Russians are to expect now and most likely forever. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, you will not find any propaganda, lies, or BS here. Instead, you will find plenty of truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions too, because I'm a human being after all. Quite a message for you today, and two things before I start. First, nothing that I'm going to tell you today is unexpected. Every single new law, rule, fine, amendment has been a public knowledge for weeks now. The Russian state hasn't hidden anything. In the course of this summer, I have mentioned quite a few of these new upcoming rules and laws on multiple occasions. All is known, all has been in public domain, and unfortunately, most Russians don't know about these things, well, until today, because they simply didn't care. They had a much bigger concern on their hands: how to spend summer vacations. And second thing, September 1st, 2025 has changed everything for ordinary Russian people. Now, not one single citizen of Russia can honestly say, oh, this war in Ukraine, it's happening someplace far away and it doesn't concern me. Because it does now. It does concern every single Russian. The changes that have come into life today are so profound that they concern everyone. In the past, I've talked of Russian people living in self-made informational bubbles. It's scary and painful to live in real-world Russia, you know? So many Russians have tried to protect themselves from the realities of life by ignoring the realities of life. I forecasted that sooner or later the bubbles would burst. This is life. We just can't live inside bubbles forever. We're part of life. We're part of society. Well, September 1st is when the bubbles start bursting. Only they are bursting not from the outside. It's the Russian state is poking its nose from the outside. They're not bursting from the inside, I apologize. They're bursting from the outside. And it proves one more time, if you don't care for politics, politics will start caring about you. It's a universal law, and it's happening now. Now let's talk about what actually happened. And I want you to pay attention, very careful, as it might become your reality in the future if you don't start caring about politics and let your politicians go unchecked. That's the mistake we Russians made a long time ago. Okay, look where we're living now. Anyway, I want you to pay attention. Learn from our mistakes, not from your own. Number one, it is forbidden to advertise VPN services now. Each case of advertising VPN will be punished by a fine of 500,000 rubles, equivalent 6,200 American dollars. VPN services are still legal in Russia. At least they're not illegal. No one has said anything about them being illegal. There are no laws or no orders from the government. The state simply has no resources to block all VPN services, and Russians are still using them left and right. So the state is using a very different approach to minimizing VPN use in Russia through fining advertisers of VPNs. It means the truth in Russia will become even more rare. Number 2, any advertising on Instagram is prohibited. And I mean any advertisement of anything on Instagram. In case of advertising on Instagram, advertisers will be punished by the fine of 500,000 rubles, equivalent to 6,200 American dollars. There are currently 64 million Russian users of Instagram, and buying advertisement on Instagram has been one of the most effective ways to promote and sell products. Russian state made Meta the owner of Instagram, both Facebook and Instagram, the products that belong to Meta, illegal in Russia right after the start of the war. But Russians have been still using both Facebook and Instagram. So now they're going after people who advertise from out of Russian jurisdiction, because you cannot advertise in Russia. You cannot simply transfer money. It's impossible. So Russians go around it. They, either open bank accounts in other countries and pay for advertisement from foreign banks, or they ask someone who lives outside Russia, their friends, to advertise. And now the state will be going after the owners of products advertised. So no matter who paid for the advertisement, right now people might get in trouble for paying. The state renders it useless. The state will be going after the owners of products advertised. How about that, huh? Genius. This will be a concern for tens of millions of Russians, as this law is retrospective. The state will be fining for every single case of advertisement made in the past, going as deep to the past as 2012. That's right, when it was absolutely perfectly legal. That's going to concern so many advertisers and even more people who rely on Facebook about learning about products and services. Number 3, banks are tightening control over cash withdrawals at ATMs. Withdrawing money will be blocked if it is found suspicious by a bank. Now, the banks in Russia, as of today, are given rights to consider suspicious anything. This is ingenious, okay? Say, banks have patterns of your customer behavior. They know how often you use ATM, how often you get money deposited into your account, how often you withdraw money from your account, and so forth. They all know that. And they use the pattern to consider withdrawal suspicious. For example, you never withdraw money from ATM, and then you do that. Use your debit card. Suspicious operation. Accounts frozen. You withdraw unusual amount of money. Usually withdraw 300. Now you withdraw 500. Unusual operation. Frozen. Or perhaps you would draw $100 instead of $300. Same thing. Perhaps you would draw at a different ATM. Unusual. Not likely your location. Perhaps you travel somewhere. Frozen. They can freeze. They can label Operation Suspicion for anything. Okay? And this is brilliant. Theft legalized by banks. Hey, it's still your money. Yes, you still have account in our bank. You own your money, no problem. We respect that, but you can't withdraw it because, we find this operation suspicious. So you have to prove innocent with the banks. You have to go to the bank, call them, prove that it's you, prove that the operation is not suspicious, and so forth. Now, this measure doesn't make much sense on the surface, but if we look at the bigger picture of Russian economy, if we look and see that there's a big crisis brewing in Russian banking system, then it makes sense. This measure is a cornerstone and the foundation of the defense against the bank runs that are coming to Russia. Because, you go to withdraw your money, suspicious. We hold it for a couple days, another couple days, and that allows banks not to give money to rightful owners. Number 4. This is kind of absurd. Cigarette lighters will be sold only by a buyer presenting national ID, Russian passport. Violators will be fined up to 2 million Russian rubles, equivalent $25,000. Now, why is that so? Russian state needs more money to continue waging the war in Ukraine. And just like I forecasted on the first day of 2025, they will use every single opportunity. They will come up, invent new opportunities how to put their greasy hand and deeper into pocket of Russian people. And this is it. Lighters. Come on. Lighters. Cigarette lighters. You want to buy a big lighter or Zippo? Yeah? Oh, that 65-year-old man didn't present his passport? Yeah, $25,000 fine. We need your money. Number 5. Federal duties for motorists, such as car registration fees, things like that, will soar up by up to 300%. Depending on province. The driver's license fee will double in price. Now, that's another way of getting more money out of people's pockets. Number 6. Children car seats are in. Specialized equipment such as straps, adapters, frameless seats are out. Prohibited starting September 1st. Drivers will be fined up to 100,000 rubles, equivalent about $1,300, for anything but car seats, even if such special devices, straps, things like that, are well designed, tested, and proven safe for children in other countries. Not in Russia. More fines. State needs more money from Russian people. Number 7. Russian driver's license will be taken away for refusing to let cars of security forces and state officials with flashing lights. Well, this rule kind of solidifies two things. More money and the ruling class, those who are above you were serfs, give way to the officials, the bosses, your life's masters, that type of thing. Russia is definitely not about people's equality. Yeah, of course, everyone is equal in Russia, but some people are born more equal than others. Well, I guess made, not born. Number 8. Drivers will be fined 45,000 rubles and a possibility of having their driver's license taken away for up to 2 years if they refuse to undergo medical examination for alcohol or drugs. Nothing new here. It's always been the case, just like in other countries. It's just fines and penalties have increased significantly. That's actually one of the things, probably the only thing among all the new rules and fines and regulations that I personally don't mind. I don't like when people drink and drive or do drugs and drive. Number 9, Russian land of Russian owners, Russian people, will be confiscated if it's improperly cleaned, with garbage left on it, with weeds uncut, and is in desolation. That's right. If a citizen pays taxes for his land, rightful owner, and it doesn't guarantee safety any longer, it can be confiscated for uncut grass. Imagine that. Regardless of the circumstances. The circumstances can be absolutely different. The biggest reason for land to be confiscated, no one can confiscate private property, right? But they can sell it to cover up the debt of the taxes. Well, not in Russia any longer. They can confiscate it for the land simply being dirty. Imagine that. Well, with garbage left on it. That's Putin's Russia for you. I don't know what to say, folks. This is insane. Now, Russians will now be able to medically treat people without higher medical education. I love this one. This will concern every single Russian. People without higher education, medical education, and without proper medical license will be able to treat other Russians. Who will be treating patients? Paramedics and midwives. They will replace internists, pediatricians, and gynecologists. Well, this new law certainly concerns every single Russian man and woman. Why they are... This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I was going to say nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense. It's a law now. Okay, that's a reality of Russian life. And no matter how deep inside a bubble you can live, this concerns you if you're in Russia now. Okay, I don't quite. I haven't heard of anything in other countries, anything like that. Okay, this is the first time. But why? I mean, Russia did have medical doctors, plenty, and I mean, it wasn't the highest quality of medical service, healthcare, but you know what? It was decent. It was okay. I mean, you could get medical services, and if you would go to a hospital, you would know that it's doctors there that properly went to medical school, and they currently hold license. Means they know a thing or two about their profession, right? So why the heck Russian government, Russian Ministry of Health, well, I don't think it's Ministry of Health, I think it's, the powers higher than that, than the ministry. Why the heck they doing that? This is the direct result of the war. I love looking at these decisions, at the new laws, and I see reasons for what they're doing right now. This is the result of the war. Come to Tashkent, the place where I'm residing, and see hundreds, if not thousands, of Russian doctors who fled Russia 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I've gone to doctors quite often here, and every time I go, and it's a Russian doctor. Very good one, excellent doctor in Tashkent. Because, if you graduate from Russian medical school and you have a medical license issued in Russia, that's all you need to practice medicine here in Uzbekistan. Come see the doctors here. They've moved from Russia to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, other countries. I know quite a few people who went to the United States and trying to get the medical license to practice medicine there. Some went to Israel. In Russia, who's left? Well, I guess paramedics and midwives. Nobody. Number 12. Children will be checked for the possibility of having children starting at age 6 in kindergartens. I've talked about it before, and I really don't know how to comment it. Can you imagine? My son is 8-year-old. Well, my youngest is. And I can't really imagine they're doing it to him, okay? I wonder what happens to the children if they find out that those kids can't have children. Can you imagine? Number 13. Pharmacists will be fined from anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 rubles. That's $1,300 to $2,600 if they don't offer buyers cheap analogs of medicines. Not the pharmacies, but pharmacists, people who work there. Now, why? Why? That is also the result of a huge crisis that is happening in Russia right now. There are shortages of certain quality medical drugs in Russia. Yes. Some say, well, no, it can't be, it's impossible. But this is the reality. And this is why the state is trying to do something about it. What can they do? Can they, stop the war and try to reintegrate the country back into the international community, international trade, to get those medicines they don't produce? Can they get substances for the medicines, perhaps? No, they don't want to do that. All they want is to fine pharmacists in Russian pharmacies. Yeah, that's a real solution, Oh, number 14. That's actually mid-roll and my thank you for you. Before I continue, I would like to thank you all for being part of Inside Russia, for your support. Thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting. Thank you for buying me coffees at buymeacoffee.com, for PayPal, for Patreon. I've been absent at YouTube for a few days, and I missed you a lot. I missed YouTube, I missed the community, I missed people who come and chat. We call people, such people, pillars of Inside Russia. I missed you all, and I would like to thank you again. You're awesome and you rock. Thank you for keep on coming back and watching, interacting, and thank you for being you. Number 15. Employers now are prohibited from cutting employees' bonuses by more than 20% of their salaries. This is crazy. Now, the state, not for the first time, but this is the biggest, the most important intrusion that I remember. So for the first time, such big intrusion by the state into the decisions made by the management of private companies. The state mandates that a company cannot cut bonuses more than a certain amount to any employee, regardless of employee's performance. Regardless, okay? Why? Well, two things here. First of all, don't forget the state needs more money. They are out of money. They're dry of money. They need more and more. They use every opportunity. I don't know how they're going to enforce this, okay? They will be trying for sure, but this is madness. I imagine myself being owner of a company in Russia and the state coming to me and checking on how much of bonuses I cut or I increase to my employees. So they want to do it for two reasons. First is they want more money, and the second is they want to control businesses more and more. It's actually, there's a third reason. They want to put financial burden from its own shoulders, from the state shoulders, and to the shoulders of businesses. Now I'll jump to number 16, and the next is kind of the same thing. Vacation pays will be calculated in a new way in Russia. Now, for the calculation, you need to multiply the average daily earnings by the average number of working days per month. Quarterly and annual bonuses will also be taken into account. So vacation pays for the majority of Russians will increase. Without Russians working more or better. And this is also absurd. As a business owner in the past, I tell you, this is absurd. It means that business owners will have to pay more, not receiving anything more from workers, right? Why does the state create this new law? Because it's trying to ease off the financial burden. They want people to get more money somehow because they know that the mass poverty is coming to Russian people. It's already there. Russians are struggling financially more and more, so they're trying to oblige businesses to pay more to people without people working more. They want to place financial burden, remove it from their shoulders, the state's shoulders, and place it onto the shoulders of private businesses. Number 17, Russians with frozen or arrested bank accounts will have their cellular numbers blocked. Such people will be left without communications. Now, don't forget what I just told you a few minutes before. Banks now have the power to freeze your account on any suspicion whatsoever, okay? And once they do that, your cellular service provider is obliged by law to freeze your telephone service, okay? This is catch-22. In order to unblock your bank account, you'd need to call the bank and say, hey, listen, you made a mistake, I'm just trying to withdraw $100. It's just, I went to a different store around the corner and I'm using a different ATM. Please unfreeze my account. Why won't be able to do that? Because my phone wouldn't be working, okay? Imagine inconvenience that Russian people are going to go through right now. Why are they doing that? They're trying to make lives of people as difficult as possible. They're trying to take away this opportunity for people to communicate with banks for as long as possible. Well, obviously, Russians will go and find a different phone, will use the spouse's phone or child's phone or something like that, or passerbyers. Well, but that's going to take time. And that's why they're doing it. They're creating catch-22 for customers of banks. On one side, the customer, and on the other side is bank teamed up with a phone provider. Number 18, fines of up to 50,000 rubles, equivalent, about, no, 50,000. That's equivalent of about 630 American dollars, something like that. Well, fines like that will be imposed for transferring SIM cards or telephones to unauthorized people. Well, for example, if someone asks you a favor, saying, "Hey, would you mind if I use your phone to call my bank because they just froze my bank account, and my telephone automatically is frozen as well, canceled for the duration of freezing of my bank account. And if I give that fella a telephone, I'll be fine. $630. Nice. These people are brilliant. I'm telling you. Russia is the country of brilliant minds. Rotten hearts, but brilliant minds. Number 19. Russians will be able to block spam calls by allowing calls only from certain companies or individuals who try to call them. Now, why? It doesn't make any sense, right? If you don't like to take a call from anyone, from a company or a person, you just don't answer. No, says Russian state. Now we give you opportunity to block this caller whatsoever, or block all callers who are not on your contact list. Why? For your own safety. We defend you from spam calls, from fraudsters. No, kind of doesn't make any sense, right? But if we look into the future, if we look into the bigger picture, it does make perfect sense, because this initiative is just step number 1. Guess what step number 2 will be? The state will be deciding who can call you. Now it's in your hands. You can decide, but they're just preparing the surface. Laying the foundation down. Step number 2, they will have control. For your own safety, of course. Number 20. Oh, that's a good one. The state-owned and controlled messenger Max is required by law to be pre-installed onto all new smartphones sold in Russia, including iPhones. Now, the Max Messenger has been the talk of the town for the last couple months. The Russian state has been blocking, slowing down, making it impossible to call through 2 most common messengers used in Russia. That's Telegram and WhatsApp. Great stuff. I've been using them for the past, 15 years. Telegram a little less, because I think it's like 12 years old or something like that. But anyway, very convenient, very safe, very nice. Well, KGB has access to them, by the way. But, if you know what you're doing, they're fairly safe. Just don't talk sensitive stuff. Now, of course, the state doesn't like it. Russian state, it hates when something goes around the state. Both WhatsApp belongs to Microsoft, I believe, or perhaps Facebook. I'm not sure. It's one of, and then obviously Telegram is an independent company, belongs to Durov, right? So the KGB has decided to design its own messenger called Max. It's a fairly new messenger. It's been in the design for a few months, but for 2 months, Russian media has been irate about, been very, hyping this thing up. Okay. Again, this is step number 1. They are trying to make everything existing, everything brilliant, very inconvenient for Russians to use, and offer Max and make it mandatory, because that's basically where everything is going. Max will be mandatory. And then they will make Macs convenient for things like banking, for official business, getting your driver's license, paying your fees, paying your fines, paying your taxes. Everything will be done through Macs. And guess what that means? Again, that's step number 2. That's total control of entire lives of Russian people. Unbelievable. Now people are free which messenger to use, how to pay taxes in cash, through banks, things like that. I mean, there are some freedoms left, not until 1st September. In the future, that's how the state sees lives of Russians. It decides everything for everyone. Number 21, English language. English studies in grades 5, 6, and 7 have been reduced to only 2 hours per week. That's the maximum allowed now. Why English? Why not other languages? Well, because English is an international mean of communications. Kids learn English. I mean, everyone wants to speak English these days. English is like your ticket to a better life. It gives you more opportunities. All you have to do is just to go to any Russian big city and see how many private English schools are advertised, where the children are taught English, okay? But guess what? Let's take a look at it from the point of view of the state. Children growing up speaking English, come on. They might go surfing, they might get VPN one way or another. They might go travel to vacation, outside Russia, and they might hear things, they might understand things. They might read books in English, they might read newspapers and magazines. They might get ideas, and you know what? Who needs that? Russians, they don't need to get ideas other than ideas told them by the state. And English is certainly not only not needed, English is dangerous. That's why they take in stepping stones by reducing the number of hours. Now it's maximum 2 hours per week. That, next year it's going to be 1 hour, and after that, English is going to be discarded completely. September 1st, 2025. Welcome to brave new Russian world. Number 22. High school students will be forced to learn the songs of Russian quasi-patriots who support the war in school music lessons. Now, this news is so unbelievable that I still doubt it, okay? I have fact-checked and I found some proof, but I still have hard time believing into this news. But it's been in the media, it's been talked about, and this is what I'm telling you right now. Oh, I don't know how you folks, but my head is spinning. Number 23. Study of human rights and freedoms have been reduced and is being replaced by a class on sacred Russian and traditional values. I kid you not. That's. I mean, everything I'm telling you is fact checked. It's just one previous news on the music lessons that just sounds so absurd. I still have a hard time believing it, but this stuff is right on. Now, this is kind of the same thing as English. Social studies. I remember Oля, one of my daughters. She was in high school. She was senior or junior in high school. Okay. And then she came to me and she started asking me very serious questions of how state is organized, Russian state, and how in general states are organized. And I was telling her pretty sophisticated stuff that I myself learned in university in Russia back in 1993 when I was freshman and sophomore, okay? So I loved that she was studying social studies. She was doing social studies. It was very, very eye-opening and was broadening horizons. Well, it's completely removed from the school curriculum in grades 6 and 7. And in grades 8 and 9, it is reduced from 136 hours to 68 hours per year. So reduced by like twice. Same thing as with English. Very important information, very important knowledge, and broadens horizons. It teaches to ask questions. And you know what? Russian state hates that. It hates when children or adults alike start asking questions, their own questions. The only questions that they are allowed to ask is the questions that the state, hints them. September 1st, 2025. That's what's happening. Number 24. Migrants in Moscow and Moscow province, that province around Moscow, will be required to register in a special mobile application upon arrival to Russia that will track their geolocation, whereabouts. Special software will have to be installed in their telephones, and they would have to register themselves. And if they don't have any telephones, then there are special means for them, such as ankle bracelets. Foreigners, welcome to Russia. Just don't forget to register at the local KGB office application, or if you somehow don't have a cell phone, don't forget to go and get yourself an ankle bracelet. Other than that, feel free to roam around the wonderful country. Number 25. Pregnant female college students will receive a higher allowance than their stipend. Starting September 1st, Russia's social fund will pay maternity benefits to female students. If earlier allowance stipend was paid by educational organization and its amount was equal to the average student's stipend all over the country, now it will be the level of the regional subsistence level and will depend on the place of registration of the student. Now, it sounds very complicated. It's basically to make it sound more simpler. The support applies to full-time female students of the universities, colleges, and organizations, and they try and by paying them more money, up in the maternity leave for the students, female students, they trying to motivate them to have more children. The amounts that we're talking about, they're not that high, probably $50 they're getting now from this, the level of subsistency, and then most likely they'll be getting something like $70 or $80, something like that. So by increasing maternity pay to the students by that much, the state is trying to motivate them. Instead of making the country a better place for families, providing support for families, providing good jobs, providing peaceful environment, providing fair court system. That's what you need to do so people have more babies. Instead, they're trying to buy them out. September 1st. Number 26. All Russian pharmacies are required now to install so-called offline module of the honest sign labeling system. This labeling system is also known as the dishonest sign among people, the labeling operator declares that the module is a free software available for self-installation on cash registers. However, installing and configuring such module still requires expenses from pharmacies, expenses that no one is going to reimburse. New modules are required due to the internet outages in Russian provinces. Now, many Russian provinces, that's a little different topic, but many Russian provinces are constantly left without mobile internet. In Nizhny Novgorod, the governor, and I'm going to cover it in news update, the governor said that the outage of mobile internet is permanent. He was laughing, saying, hey, you know what? You people need digital detox, so you should be thanking us. Now, without internet access, mobile internet access, pharmacies, as well as numerous shops, different businesses, retail stores, things like that, just sellers in general, they cannot sell. An honest sign, the system, in the absence of communication, simply doesn't allow you to make purchases, not even for cash. Because of this outages of internet, they occur periodically all over Russia, and Russians, the business owners cannot sell, and Russians cannot buy. Okay, so what do instead of making peace in Russia, making peace with Ukraine, stopping the Ukrainian drones from flying to Russia, stopping the war? Instead, they're trying to put these modules that work offline. Perfect solution. Number 27. Graduates of colleges and technical schools will no longer be able to enroll into universities. I love this, okay? Basically, Russian state its mantra right now is more control, more control over anything, okay, including over education. How they doing it? By making up these laws, okay? They limit the students as much as they can. Now, it used to be that let's take me. I graduated from high school with the highest honor, and basically all universities and schools in Russia had open doors for me. I was free to decide my occupation, my major. And after I would graduate with bachelor's degree, I could go to school to change major, and I think it's perfectly normal. I think it's good. Okay, well, not any longer in Russia. Now, first of all, the state tries to regulate higher colleges and universities by telling how many students they can enroll into a certain profession, certain majors. Okay, and now graduates of colleges and community colleges in this case, and technical schools, vocational schools, will no longer be able to enroll in universities without the unified state exam if they do not follow their major. Basically, once you choose a major, the state wants you to go all the way with this major. That limits opportunities for students, and it certainly limits freedoms, basic freedoms. But you know what? We're seeing more and more of state deciding or trying to decide life for Russian people. Number 28. Russians are now banned from keeping exotic animals at home. And number 29, and the last one, I love it, absolutely love it. Movies. Let's go to the movies. Movies with non-traditional values, Russian and foreign made, will no longer receive rental certificate in Russia. There is certain special commission that is censoring, basically, because that's what it's called. It's called censorship. in normal language. In Russia, they're saying, well, non-traditional values are out of the door. We want to keep Russia clean. We want traditional values, things like that. But you know what? Censorship is censorship, no matter how you package it. Anyway, they are recreating the institution of censorship. They're recreating special commissions. People will be employed who will be judging movies for lack of non-traditional values or traditional values or whatever. Been there before. I heard that music, certainly the USSR, and you know what? That's not pretty. And Russia is there. 29 significant changes in lives of Russian people, and most of them concern everyone. Everyone. This is it. Now, is this the end? No. This is just the beginning, friends. There will be more. Much more. There will be more laws. There will be more oppressions, more arrests, more perhaps deaths, more executions. If you want to stay on top, consider signing up for become a patron of Inside Russia at Patreon account of Inside Russia. I've invented, designed, not really invented, what I call Formula 54. I select 9 news every single day that I find important, and I make them available to patrons, to people who sign up and support the channel. In return, they get the latest, the greatest, the most significant news. Consider, if you want to stay on top of things that happen in Russia, know about Russia, consider becoming Patreon, and that's going to help you a great deal. And if you become patron, you also support the channel a great deal, significantly. So thank you very much. Now, friends, we don't have much time, but I invite you to continue. Don't sign off yet into the live stream chat. About 10, 12 minutes or so. I will try to answer all the questions that you throw at me. Well, as many questions as possible. Not all, because not much time today. It's been a very important message, a very timely message, because these all new laws, regulations, fines, all these changes, they start working today, September 1st. Let me turn the live stream chat on. Hang on. Been away from YouTube for quite some time. Well, I still can ride the bicycle, but it's just taking me a little longer. Thank you so much. The chat is on. Thank you for coming. Fantastic to see everyone. If you're not seeing the live stream chat, please press refresh button and it'll appear. Before we start, I'd like to remind you that we have 4 people in this community that are more than friends. They're the best moderation team that any channel can have. They're Lorna, Mammy K, Bob S, Harry Potnan, and Amir Fazad. 5 people, I'm sorry. A bit slow today. Just concerned about Russians and about Russia. All these new laws, they're crazy. Very concerned. And by the way, I think that there's no point of no return for Russia. That they're not going to go back. There's going to be something terrible going to happen to Russia for the country to be rebuilt. So, friends, thank you for coming. As usual, if you want me to notice your message or question easier, please put it in all caps, or put Inside Russia after @ so it is highlighted by a large orange box. It's much easier for me to see, just like Mr. Kaliskin did. Lorna, Harry, Bob, Amir, fantastic to see you. Is Mami K here today? Not seen, but she's with us in our hearts. So anyway, Mr. Kaliskin, howdy. Harry, thank you for showing everyone how it's done. Woody, Kevin Baker, Just Harry, the usual suspects. Good to see you. Werner, Heiko, is there still some analog, organized, hidden opposition remaining in the intelligentsia, like during the Soviet Union? Very little, very fragmented, and I think it's just to a point where it should not be considered a force. I'm very sorry for the censor, but that's what I think. Stefan Duling from Germany, guten Abend. Ferrari guy, long time no see. Jodes, I saw you this morning. It was a short stream where I talked about surfing accident I had a couple days ago. I was taking a beach day at a place with waves, and it was actually decent waves. And I was telling Jodes Rames and other patrons who were present in the morning in the live stream for patrons only. I do that sometimes once a week instead of Saturday. I did it Monday because, first of all, it's a Labor Day in the United States. All Americans, happy Labor Day. And then second, it's Independence Day in Uzbekistan, so it was a day off. That's why I did a live stream. Anyway, we interacted with George Rames there a little bit. Roy Cousins from London, howdy. John McLean, Rogue Bod, Pamela, Samsa, Erinka, Denise Abbott, howdy, friends. Koshkin Dom, Alu, Pather Olson, good to see you. ZX, howdy, thank you for saying welcome back. Guy, good to see you. Dr. Aluna, Sam the Legend K, Sherleaf, Ronnie, Patrick Barnett. Dad, your homeland acting like 1920s Russia, USSR. You know what? Not there yet, but I see it's going there. Okay, because in the 20s, it didn't happen overnight. They did stepping stones. Okay, and they're doing the same thing. So I think that's they're repeating that. Leitmotif from Maryland as usual. Howdy. You know who? A long time no see. Robert Edmonds, the question, is it rumored that in rural Russia police are so understaffed that vigilantes are operating? Yes, not just in rural Russia, but everywhere in Russia, police is understaffed. Vigilantes are operating. I'm not sure what you mean by that. There are criminals, big problem with criminals. The crime wave is increasing because people coming back from the front lines with PTSD, with guns, with experience of killing people. And yes, that is a big problem. Is it just in rural Russia? I don't know. Rural Russia is usually safer than big cities. Big cities that's where the problems cook. Jean St. Aubin, howdy. Stefan, new name, Absurdistan. Yeah. Per Haglund from Stockholm, Sweden. Howdy, friend. Good to see you. Janice. Justeri. Howdy. Brigitte from Germany. Good Abend. Kermo. Looking much better. Well, I slept every night for the past 10 days. Well, for the past 10 nights, I guess. Marcus from the Netherlands. Howdy. Kevin. Anyway, let me take a couple more questions and I'm gonna wrap up. That was a very long message. I'm sorry. But important. What do you think of the message? Did you find it interesting? To me, it's really a change. to many Russian lives of many Russians. These things concern everyone: banking, medicine, healthcare, um, education of children. These things concern every single person. And in general, the state is getting more and more power over people's lives, and there's nothing people can do. It's legal now. Shirley, did you witness the recent video of a Russian soldier who was dressed in 3 green yoga mats and they were purposely used as bait? I'm sorry, I did not watch. Honestly, I did not watch much. I did not follow much news. I unplugged completely. I did different things during the last 10 days. Things some of them I will talk in Saturday live stream, privately only for patrons, what we call a virtual pub of Inside Russia, because it's like going to a pub and meeting friends. And some of them I'm not going to talk about. So, no, I did not see the video. The Underdog, good to see you. Mostly listening, having a late meal. Bon appetit. RW, fantastic to see you, friend. Thank you so much. You are also in my thoughts and prayers. We pray for you every single live stream, every single day. Thank you. Anastasia, imagine with all the changes coming from a Pipe of School song inspired by the Star Spangled Banner lyrics beginning. Can you see what the Russian state's done to me? Okay, a little complicated for me right now. So is the Saturday stream over, Kay? No, no, Terry, not over. We keep on doing them. I just did on Monday because it's a holiday, and I missed last Saturday stream because I was in transition. So no way, Terry. I mean, we keep on doing them. Janice, thank you very much for good words. The last question. Do you think you are safe even in another country? One dev. Well, obviously you didn't watch many of my previous live streams because I share a lot concerns about my safety. I caught the KGB following me on 4 occasions. Following me personally. How can I feel safe here or in any other country? The only country that I feel safe so far as I've been to is Israel. Another country that I think is the United States of America. There's 2 countries that KGB operatives do not operate in those countries. Anywhere else, I don't tell people where I go because I'm afraid for my life, for my life of my family. So no, I'm not feeling that safe. I'm sorry. Even another country, yes. KGB is very, very skilled hands. Anyway, friends, thank you so very much. Over these few past days, I've thought a lot about us praying at the end of live streams. I would like to share some thoughts on that. I would like, obviously, continue praying in every live stream, and I'm inviting everyone to pray along with me. Thank you so very much. This is what I usually do. I grab my prayers list. Thank you. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for everything you've given to us. Thank you for the food you've placed on our tables and roofs you've given over our heads. Thank you for our families, for the love in our lives. Thank you for our children, and please give us wisdom to keep the skies over our children's heads safe and peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that they will not fight in any wars when they grow up. We'll make this world a better place. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, I am asking for Ukraine. Please stop the bloodshed. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of those who are responsible and have them stop the bloodshed. Have them make that decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who's been affected, answer their prayers, make their wishes come true. Please help my country, Russia, assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords into one shining army led by Saint Michael in your heavenly armors, and send that army down to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country, Russia, who we know by their names and by their faces. Send your angels to help good Russians to run their country, to make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Please help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Help those who are in danger of any kind. Please send them safety. Please help single mothers and fathers who are struggling, trying to make ends meet, raising their children. Send help their way, please. Help those who are seeking asylum. Help those Ukrainians who are currently under attack from Russian weapon. Send them safety and bless those who are helping Ukrainians. Dear Lord, I'm asking for all who are sick, hungry, addicted, cold, homeless, jobless, crying, going through divorces, not able to see their children, who are feeling betrayed, who are in tears, who are feeling that they're alone in this world. Please reach out and touch the heart of every single person in need. Fill their hearts with love. Remind them that they're not alone. You love them. You have not abandoned them. You will never do that. Make them feel your warmth and your love. Please help everyone in need. Thank you very much for allowing us to come together and pray here. Thank you for so many people, 3,800 people praying along with me or simply watching us pray. That's also good. Please answer prayers of everyone who is praying or simply watching us, and make their wishes come true. Thank you very much. I have a few people. They need your help, and I'm asking you to help them. They are Teresa, Jeff, Karsten, Janice, Rose Bronicki, Daniela Fromm and her family, Greg, Lee and Brenda, Oliun, Victor Garishan. Thank you for helping Rod recover. Please help Ann Larson and her daughter Hannah, Jeffrey S. and his family, Mark, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Gabing with Gary, Lisa, Harry, Terry, John, Linda, Paula W., Dennis, Jason, Susie Mailer, Tim, Dory, Rhonda, John, Taylor, Wayne, Darla, George Ruberty, Pamela J., Meta, David Porter, his family, and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Leif, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner and his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Liz, Sergey, Ron, Liz, Koshkin Dom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra, Joseph, Millie, Jodes, Philip, Eileen, Highwayman, Denise Abbott, Jeff Gibson, Janice Burgess, and Derek Martinez. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, friends. It's really good to be back. Fantastic to see everyone. Thank you for giving me a chance. You are awesome and you rock. There will be live stream every day for the next, as long as I breathe, I guess, and until I take another week off in the future sometimes. So please keep on coming back. I will try to make it even more interesting, more informative. So thank you so much. And tomorrow will be another live stream, obviously. I'm going to make economic update or perhaps news update that I missed last week. So plenty of news in Russia, worthy of your attention. Before I sign off, I'm asking everyone to say out loud, as loud as you can, along with me, the following. Carthago delenda est.